To some, it was a harmless trend.
This filter makes you chubby.
To others, it was a cruel joke.
Why is it do you people fear fatness so damn much?
This is the Chubby Filter. So there's a new TikTok filter that makes you instantly gain weight that ended up becoming a full-on internet trend with thousands of people joining it. But this quote-unquote chubby filter created such a toxic effect and so much backlash that it was pulled down within a week. And I actually feel like this whole chubby filter thing marked a huge change. It truly feels like a slide back into a more 2000s-esque culture. Like the body positivity era is officially over. And I really feel like that is not a good thing, because you know what, sure, body positivity, it had its problems, okay? But the culture we had before it was much, much worse. Like it literally already smells like 2009 in here, and you do not want to go back there. So let's talk about this filter and all the drama that it caused in its few short days of life, and where we might be headed if we continue down this path. So the quote-unquote chubby filter, if it's still not obvious, it takes a thin person and makes them overweight, very overweight. And tons of people, some of them extremely fit, posted their little before and afters of them transforming using this filter. And like I said before, it became a full-on internet trend. Now, is it that big of a deal if a filter that alters your body size to be larger just exists in the world? I don't think it's that big of a deal. There are slimming filters. There was a chubby face filter in the past, which was actually kind of way more aggressive because it like altered your face to be red and kind of sickly looking. As you keep going here, as you keep applying the filter, it just gets like more and more savage. Like that ain't right, honestly. And at the same time, there was a skinny face filter that was equally aggressive. This is actually pretty dead on accurate for how someone looks if they are dangerously low in body fat. So TikTok was coming for both sides equally. So I don't know. I don't really think it's that big of a deal if filters like these just exist. If this was a Photoshop filter that you could privately use to take a look at yourself at 300 pounds, who cares? I mean, if you had been thin your entire life, maybe you'd be curious, right? I feel like that's valid. However, this was a TikTok filter, a social media filter that became a full-on trend. And that to me is where it crosses the line. Let's take a look. When we look at the clips people posted of themselves, I don't think everyone had the intention to make other people feel bad about themselves. They just weren't really thinking. They jumped in on the trend, they posted a picture of themselves relatively neutrally, and that's it. But the chubby filter itself, which is made by CapCut, the same company that owns TikTok, it was definitely not just meant to be neutral, okay? It was definitely turning an entire body type into a huge joke. One of the most savage features of the filter is that if you are overweight, it doesn't change your image at all. And in some cases, it added little chubby features. In this case, it actually turned this girl's wine glass into an ice cream cone. Which, I mean, it's funny, right? I laughed at the ice cream thing, but it's also not very nice. And this isn't a comedian making a one-off fat joke. It's a filter made by a huge corporation that's used by over 1 billion people every single day. At that level, it becomes cultural commentary, okay? That's essentially encouraging people to turn overweight people into the butt of the joke. Like, I know these captions are AI generated, but look at this one. Discover hilarious face filter effects that will keep you entertained at the gym. Laugh while staying motivated to reach your fitness goals. This information is AI generated and may return results that are not relevant. It does not represent TikTok's views or advice. If you have concerns, please report at feedback and help TikTok. I do have concerns because that ain't right. Like, what do you mean laugh while staying motivated to reach your fitness goals? Call me soft, but I just don't feel like anyone deserves to feel like the butt of the joke at a societal level. And I feel enraged by the idea that a huge corporation like TikTok thought that was an okay joke to make. Like, you guys don't have HR at TikTok or CapCut? Imagine how uncomfortable it would be to draw a picture of yourself obese and then post it up at your workplace for everyone to see as quote unquote funny gym motivation. What is gonna happen in that situation? You're going to HR. They're calling you in there immediately confused and disturbed by your decision to post it up at your workplace for everyone to see. So why did TikTok think chubby filter? approved. This little alert icon here saying this doesn't represent TikTok's views or advice. That doesn't make it okay. You guys are still responsible for the filter. Just because you put that little icon on there doesn't mean it's like a get out of jail free card. Like I said, this chubby filter went on to become a full-on trend with thousands of people posting pictures of themselves overweight and laughing. Imagine that happened at your workplace, straight to HR. Imagine that happened at your school, principal's office. So why did TikTok think it was okay to do it on their platform? The captions on these images weren't all bad, but many of them were of people openly being mean or mocking this body type. Us if we were fatties. Seeing what I would look like chubby for motivation. Lean is law, let's keeps it that way. Us after one sweet treat. Jumping on this chubby trend, I can't cope. What a unit. What my body dysmorphia sees every day. I am screaming, where did my neck go? Don't get how this is funny. Okay. Laugh emoji, dead emoji. This is how we'd look if we turned into fat fucks. Fatty, fatty, boom, boom, want another cream cake. So as you can see, it's a filter that literally encourages people to be like, oh my fucking God, wouldn't it be fucking disgusting if I was fat? Thank God I'm not, right? Gross. And you're obviously allowed to feel however you want about your own body, duh. Reasonably, most people don't want to be overweight. That is very fair, beyond fair. But you're still kind of a dick if you say that out loud to the internet. Particularly with a caption that looks like puke, 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 skull, 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 rolling, laughing, crying. So yeah, the HR nightmare that is this filter made some people upset, which led to a sudden eruption of drama. It was fighting between two different sides who didn't see eye to eye. Mean girl type trend. It's 2025 and we're still laughing at people for their body type. What an odd trend to take part in. This trend is basically mean girls outing themselves. Yeah, this trend just isn't okay. This isn't it. This filter is mean and so hateful towards people with bigger bodies.
I could never imagine making this video and pressing, yeah, post. That's a really good idea. Like, just use your actual brain.
Last time I looked, it had over 217,000 uses. I'm not really understanding why this is a trend that people want to participate in. One trend that, quite frankly, I don't think needs to be a trend.
It's just pretty obvious that this is a trend that would hurt people's feelings. It's very tasteless, it feels mean-spirited, and even if that's not the intention of the poster, that is the effect. Everyone knows someone with this body type. These people don't deserve to be belittled at a societal level. That's insane. So of the people who posted their chubby filter transformations, this girl's account and image was posted up on almost every single news site. And almost none of them hid her handle for some reason. So she got a ton of the controversy on her post in particular. Also probably because she captioned it, "The way I burst out laughing. If this doesn't scare me into sticking to the gym, I don't know what will." Yeah, people did not like that caption. You're a horrible person, dog. This trend is actually not okay and burst out laughing? Wow. You burst out laughing at what? A normal body that lots of women have? This trend is truly just body shaming. Sad. How is this body shaming? The caption? Are you kidding me? Why are people so mad over a filter? Manifesting this for you, BB, with 97,000 likes. People were also trolling all over the rest of her account and body shaming her back, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. And also saying her dog looks ugly, which I just feel like that's just uncalled for. And she ended up feeling like she needed to do a full-on response video because so many people were crawling over her page.
If that video has genuinely upset people, then I'm genuinely sorry, because that is not my intention at all. I am the last person to want to make anyone feel bad about themselves. The thing I found funny about that picture is not even the weight. It's not even the weight that I found funny. It's the way the filter made me look. It literally is funny to me. Obviously it took me off guard. I seen the filter was going around. Obviously I hopped on the trend. I did burst out laughing. Like, it was funny to me. If I want to find the way a filter has made me look funny, I will. That is okay. It's my body. I can do and feel the way I want about my body.
Now, do I think this girl intentionally meant to hurt anyone's feelings? No, I don't. I don't think she was intentionally being mean. She used a filter that was provided to her by TikTok without thinking about how that might make other people feel. Did she use any empathy in creating this post? No, but I think a lot of people do not have empathy for a struggle that they seriously cannot relate to. I think a lot of people have absolutely no concept how difficult it is to struggle with obesity. They do not comprehend what someone might go through when dealing with that. Lots of people literally think, well, if you don't like being overweight, why don't you just eat less? Like, a lot of other people in the comments seriously had no idea why this could be problematic. Anyone offended needs to touch grass, for real. Not offended, it's just a weird trend. How? Are you really asking that? Yes, how? Y'all are so sensitive. No, we're just mature and nice to people. A lot of people saying, it's not that deep, it's just a filter. But it's like, yeah, it's not that deep to you. To other people, it is very deep. To some people, it's their life experience. It's called empathy, dude. The ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes and imagine what that might be like for them. No, obesity is not healthy, obviously, but no one should be belittled for their weight. I felt like we all agreed on that point. But the comment section was completely split. You had some people who were like, let's not do this. You had some people who were like, I see way too many overweight people not do anything about their weight and even embrace it. Maybe this trend will wake them up. Just because there are a few loud people on the internet pretending that obesity is healthy and fun doesn't mean that's the view of most people. Most people are struggling to change and not having success, or they've struggled so much in the past that they've given up. Can we please not normalize and praise laughing or making a trend to make fun of different body shapes? This is not healthy and could be so damaging for many watching this. If she's talking about her own body, I don't think anyone else has a say in what she can do or feel with it. But it's not about her body shape. She's created a different body and laughing at that body shape, which those who have that body could find offensive, encouraging negative self-images / behaviors. Okay, you have a point. That does make sense. Most reasonable TikTok commenter ever. So yeah, people are often too sensitive about things, but I don't think this one fell into that category. And TikTok clearly agreed because they pulled it down and quickly. And the fact of the matter is, beyond people being offended or hurt, filters like this undoubtedly have a toxic effect, and not just on overweight people. Filters in general are known to be a pretty toxic area on social media. And who is the main demographic impacted by this? Teens, teenagers, preteens, kids. Of TikTok's potentially billion daily users, it's hard to know how many of them are teens, but dude, it is definitely a lot. Look at this. A third of TikTok users may be 14 or under. And a filter like this is a seek and destroy missile for teen body image. Literally, you can just imagine a chubby teenager sensitive about their body, minding their own business on the internet, stumbling upon this, hating themselves, and feeling bullied. And beyond just feeling bad, I saw very young, very thin people using this filter to quote unquote trigger themselves. For a body image obsessed teen, a filter like this and then a trend to go along with it where everyone is mocking a bigger body can really crank up the fear of gaining weight, even healthy weight. When you see a filter that makes someone extremely heavy, right? It adds like 150 pounds to their body. You might think that it's othering only this specific body type, this specific size, but it can have the effect of making people fear any sort of weight gain, even weight gain that might be considered healthy or within the healthy range. And at that age, it can do so to a pathological degree. And next, it normalizes bullying. Body shaming is a form of bullying. Whether or not you think that group of people deserves it or not, it is a form of bullying. And you can imagine all the ways an app like this might be used for bullying. And I think the bullying reason is ultimately why it was pulled and why now when you try to look it up, you get the little sad robot. No results found. This phrase may be associated with behavior or content that violates our guidelines. Promoting a safe and positive experience is TikTok's top priority. I mean, you would think that you guys would have thought about that when you posted it, but okay. And the thing is, like a year ago or 2 years ago, I don't think this filter would have existed. For me, TikTok posting a filter like this and then it becoming a full-on trend quickly clearly marks the end, the funeral of the body positivity era. It's like us saying as a culture that we've moved on. Because for a long time, the idea was that all body types are beautiful and you would be viciously attacked if you so much as suggested otherwise. Just a few years ago, you literally couldn't lose weight for your health without being called quote unquote fat phobic. What's wild is how fast the pendulum swung. We went from you're not even allowed to talk about losing weight to look how hilarious I'd be if I were fat, LOL, in less than 2 years. Now, the body positivity movement had a lot of problems, clearly. It was clearly too extreme, it was toxic, and many many, many ways, but it did do some good things for society. And one good thing that it did bring was that fat shaming and body shaming became culturally uncool. Because prior to that, it was truly open season for a very long time on anyone who wasn't extremely thin. Body shaming was truly like a public sport. And that's why something like a Chubby Filter made by a huge social media company, bad vibe. That is a step in the wrong direction to me. Like, imagine Google did this. It would be weird. And for evidence of where we might be going if we tolerate stuff like this, I bring you the case of Jessica Simpson. On January 25th, 2009, pop star Jessica Simpson performed at a chili cook-off. Little did she know that fateful day would change her life and the world forever. It was just 1 week into her new tour with the country music band The Rascal Flatts. She was having the time of her life, happier than she'd been in a long time. For her performance that night, she decided to wear a bright blue, high-waisted pair of jeans paired with a black bodysuit and thick leopard print Fendi belt. And before she went on stage, she, quote, "I did one last look in the mirror and loved what I saw." The performance went extremely well. She met with fans, took photos, told the audience how happy she was in her life at that moment, then came home hours later to find that she had become a public laughingstock. You see, Jessica had committed the crime of gaining 20 pounds in the 2000s. Photos of her performance were spread around the internet with captions like, "Jessica Simpson's a bigger star than ever as she shows off her new curvier figure," and "Jessica Simpson, this is how she rolls."
These pictures, that outfit, this woman, Jessica Simpson, people can't stop talking about it, saying she looks fat.
This picture that circulated and went worldwide broke my heart.
Double belted into her mom jeans, former pop singer / reality TV star turned attempted country crooner Jessica Simpson appeared at some sort of chili cook-off concert in Florida this weekend. It's unclear if she was there to perform or just judge. Yeah, that's where things were at, okay? Despite the fact that she wouldn't even be considered overweight.
She calls that chapter in her book Death by Mom Jeans and says she was a size 4 when those photos were taken.
Here's another. Jumbo Jessica Simpson, packing on the pounds in photos. No, you're not even ready though. You're not even ready though for this, okay? Let's go. The New York Post felt it was appropriate to create and post the following cartoon of Jessica Simpson and her boyfriend at the time, famous football player Tony Romo. Okay, that's what it is. It's fucking shocking. "Sorry, Tony, but I met someone else. It's fucking Ronald McDonald, dude. And look at the image of her. Look at that. It's actually shocking." Look at her in the picture and then look at that. That was the crime, okay, for gaining 20 pounds in the 2000s.
She was a size 4 when those photos were taken.
Not long ago, a news organization made and sent that out. They drew an image of her cheating on Tony Romo, okay, with Ronald McDonald. Wow. Not to mention, Eminem did a music video where he used Trisha Paytas to portray Jessica Simpson, and Burger King, okay, took out an ad with Fox News making fun of Jessica's weight. A company that sells hamburgers went after like a 28-year-old's weight because she gained like 20 pounds. That's the world that we used to live in. For me, when big corporations are shaming someone else's body for marketing clout and we're all clapping along, we have failed as a society. And the TikTok filter, yeah, it's a lot milder, but it's a different flavor of the same ice cream. It's not openly attacking one specific human being, but it is saying to an entire group of people that your body is worthy of ridicule. Public ridicule. And just the fact that a big corporation thought it could just get away with this, that is not a good sign. That is us dipping our toes back into this type of culture and we just cannot go there. I actually can't get over that image. I was a little chonky teenager when that happened and it was literally seared into my brain. Especially because she is so beautiful. So it's like, if a woman this beautiful can be humbled like that, like, we're all fucked. Honestly, would you guys like an entire video about the Jessica Simpson thing? Because I feel like that is like a millennial moment. It's actually sad that as a society, that's how we treated people not that long ago. Anyway, what do you guys think of the Chubby Filter? Is it not that deep or is it problematic AF? Thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you in the next one.